Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. This is one I saw. It was coming out a couple weeks ago. I saw that they announced this one, and I was pretty excited for it. This is one of those bands that I really fell in love with way back mid 80s when I was really getting into heavy metal and harder music, and I saw this was coming out, and I was really excited because I really like this band. I've been following this band right from the start, from their debut on Shrapnel. It is the band Fifth Angel, and their new album entitled When Angels Kill. So anyway, just a quick little history of this band in case nobody knows who they are. It's kind of, I guess, the most famous member of the band at this point would be Ken Mary on drums, who was playing with Alice Cooper. He went on to be in House of Lords, and then he was like guest on lots of other people's stuff. He was like one of the mainstays, even though for a short period of time he was actually not the drummer in the band for a little bit, when they did like a little reunion in the mid 2000s ish there. But him and the guitar player, his name, Ed Archer. I have to check the credits here real quick. I forgot his name. Ed Archer is the only two kind of original members, although the bass player that they have, Johnny Macco, has been with them since almost the beginning. He was didn't play on the first album, but he joined like there right after. There's a lot of dispute over the writing credits who actually played bass on that. Apparently several different people played on that one. So, but he's been with them since their album came out, and so anyway, it's like those three guys are kind of the mainstays. Now they got a new guitar player in it now, Ethan Brosh, who's actually still a member of Flotsam and Jetsam, and I don't know if he's going to be doing any live stuff or if these guys are doing anything live. I haven't seen anything about that yet, but he's on the record anyway. And then they got a new vocalist, Steve Carlson, who was new to me. I don't know anything about him. Apparently he was kind of friends with Ken Mary or something like that, but I don't really know anything about that guy. So this is kind of like technically it's their fourth vocalist that they've had. Ted Pilot, who quit after their second album. They actually went on to become a dentist, so there you go. He's gone. The original guitarist they had went on to just become a solo artist, and I haven't heard much from him since. They had another guitar player in there, Kenny Bechtel, for a little bit, actually for quite a while, from like 80s till just actually, I think he quit in 19. He actually sang on the last album, even though they had another singer before that playing some live shows with him from the band Heir Apparent, and I don't know what exactly happened there, but he didn't end up being on the album. So this is technically their fourth vocalist. Now that being said, I haven't even talked about the music on the album yet, but if any of you guys don't know the style of Fifth Angel, it's pretty much it's kind of power metal-ish. It's kind of just regular heavy metal, I guess. The thing about this band that I really drew me in was actually the original vocalist, Ted Pilot. He just had a unique tone to his voice that doesn't sound like anybody else. There's nobody else there that I think sounds like him. Instantly recognizable vocals. The new guy, Steve Carlson, killer vocalist, but he doesn't have that unique style that Ted Pilot had. So that's one little bummer for me. Ted wasn't involved, so it was a little bit of a bummer for me, but this album still kicks butt. I'll give him that. A little side note, the original album was co-produced by Terry Date, in case anybody doesn't know who that is. He went on to produce stuff with like Pantera, White Zombie, I don't know, tons of other bands. And so he kind of gave them, this is like his first like foray into producing, and it's probably why their production of the original cassette that I had that I played over and over and over again sounded so good, and it's had his little signature on it right from the start. But anyway, on to this one. Does not sound anything like Fifth Angel. It's good. Yeah, I mean, it's a killer album, but if you're expecting this to sound anything like Fifth Angel, no, it's not there. However, it's called it's a double disc, I guess is what they're calling it. It's like almost the full 80 minutes long here, and it's supposed to have some type of concept going through it. Although I did not pick up what that concept was, I didn't really care that much, honestly. If I'm being completely truthful, I didn't really look into that because, I don't know, concept albums, I can take them or leave them sometimes, and this one didn't, like, really, I couldn't figure out what the concept was. So anyway, a little bit lazy there, I guess. I was more into what the music was going to sound like, and I was kind of mainly listening to this into my car. So, that being said, the musicianship on it is fantastic. It's Ken Mary, I was gonna say he's playing on all 8 cylinders, but they threw a V10 in this baby. He's playing on all 10 cylinders. He's killing it. The stuff on these songs that he came up with is amazing to me. It's just great to hear that not only has he not lost anything, but he's gotten better. The leads on this, fantastic, and the bass playing on this, that's the one thing of the mix on this. You can hear all the instruments, like crystal clear. Everything stands out in the bass. You can really hear very well. Killer bass playing. I love it when the bass adds to the song. Sometimes, in the style of music, it doesn't always. And he adds a melodic and a rhythmic feature to the song, so he's not just copying what the guitarists are doing, which sometimes the style of music can happen. And that does not happen. It adds to the songs, and just to be able to hear all that is fantastic. Vocals are stellar. He's got a bigger range than what Ted Pilot had. Goes for the high notes a lot, although not overdone. It's funny because this album sounds to me like more like the modern Priest stuff sounds like. This sounds like it could have been Rob Halford singing that. Sounds like it could have been a Priest album. That's not a bad thing, but unfortunately for me, that doesn't sound like Fifth Angel. It just doesn't sound like they have that unique style like they had. Even though the musicianship is over the top and great, songs are good. I don't have any complaint about the songs, but I think they lost that signature style that they had. And the guitars, the only thing I will say about the mix is that for me, this is all just opinion. All of this is just opinion, so don't kill me too much in the comments. But very thin sounding, very mid-rangey, which unfortunately, even though you can hear everything well, it doesn't give that extra oomph. It doesn't have that extra full, powerful feel that the style of music usually has. So that's just my personal taste. I'd prefer that it would have been a little bit more crunchy instead of so mid-rangey. As far as back to the concept thing, the only thing I really did not like about this was that there's, like I said, this is just personal opinion, is that there's a narrative going through the whole thing. There's actually a narrator talking at the songs, and when I first heard it, I just popped it in and realized it was even a concept album. And there's talking. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? It threw me off. It sounded out of place. Then I realized that, afterwards it was supposed to be a concept album. Although it's strange that there's no spot where you can skip past you can get rid of the narrative. It's part of the songs. And when I say it's part of the songs, it's not actually musically part of the song. They added in this extra soundscape or noise or just a little keyboard or something with talking over it and made that part of the song, even though it adds nothing musically to the song. It's just like a little added on thing. So what was saying that originally a 4 or 5 minute song is now a 6.5 minute song because they added this little thing onto it. Sometimes in the beginning, sometimes at the end. And there are other albums out there that I bought that have narrative going on, and I'm thinking of first of all, Sabaton comes to mind. They released a version of that without the narration going on, so you could just listen to just the music. There's no option for this. They made it part of the song. I don't even know how you'd get that out of there. It's kind of weaved in, and I don't know. It's just not for me. There wasn't something that my taste. I didn't like it. Other than that, great album. I would listen to this over and over again. It was really good. But it does my little nitpicky things about the mix and what they sound like nowadays. If it was a brand new band, which they're not. But if they were a brand new band, I would enjoy this and like it just as much as not knowing or knowing who they were. I meant from years ago. Although I wouldn't have the comparison to what they used to sound like, and wishing for that. So I don't know. I guess using the name gets people to listen to it than just starting out as a new band. Although it doesn't sound like a new band. So I've said that several times now. But anyway, anybody out there who's heard this type of stuff or their old stuff compared to the new, knows where the singer, what stuff he might have done before, feel free to comment, or if you got any other information I'm leaving out, feel free to comment on this as always, and like, subscribe, share, all that stuff I always ask for, and appreciate all the comments that people have been leaving lately. It's been pretty cool, so can't wait to see what people have to say about this one. Until next time, see ya.